Today we're going to be looking at another one of those vegetables that isn't even a vegetable, the eggplant. Now, some find it intimidating to cook because it can come out a little bit mushy. Some consider it the most versatile of all the vegetables, and a lot of vegetarians consider it a really good meat substitute. So, let's take a look at this purple powerhouse and turn it into a dish that will get your taste buds doing the happy dance. And in the process, we'll learn about adjectives that describe food that can also be used to describe people, their characteristics and their emotions. It should be fun. So the eggplant throughout history has had a complicated reputation. In ancient Persia, they thought it caused a number of different afflictions, including pimples and epilepsy. The Renaissance Italians called it mela insana, or crazy apple, because they thought if you ate too many of them, you would go insane. In India, where the eggplant is believed to have originated, they believe it's the king of the vegetables. And in Japan, if you dream about an eggplant at New Year's, it's supposed to be a good sign, a good omen. So they're kind of all over the place with eggplants in history. There are many different colors and types of eggplants. Listada de Gandia, Turkish orange, the Easter egg which you saw, Tai long. Enough. When you're cooking eggplant, many chefs will say, be careful, or ojo en español, because the eggplant some kinds of eggplants can have a bitter flavor if you don't treat them before you cook them. And that actually brings us to our English lesson for today. All right, so I'm going to give you some food adjectives. And the good thing about these adjectives is that you can also use them as slang to describe people. Now, we already talked about how an eggplant can be bitter depending on how you cook it. And in English, bitter means the opposite of sweet. And since calling a person sweet in English means that they are pleasant, kind, and gentle, then a bitter person is naturally the opposite of that. They are unhappy, usually carrying a grudge about the past. Here's a pro tip. The words salty and sour, which are often used to describe food that can be a little too strong in flavor, are also synonyms for bitter when describing a person. Unhappy about the past, for example. Now, since we are all on social media, let's look at some words that describe how we want people to see us, and also how they actually see us. So in food language, cheesy means a food that is covered in cheese. In people language, cheesy means somebody that is embarrassing because they're very cliche in the way they act or what they do. The same thing goes for corny, which of course for food means full of corn. The word thirsty also connects to this. You are thirsty if you need a drink, but you're also thirsty if you're desperate for other people to like you. So the opposite of thirsty for people is cool or chill. Both of these can be used to describe also the temperature of food if it's not hot. But if you're cool or chill and you're a person, you are comfortable with who you are. And someone that's chill or cool might also be called smooth, which for food means creamy, not full of lumps or chunks. And when it's a person, they are confident and they're polite and basically relaxed. So let's talk about people and how we might describe them if their brains aren't working so well. Fried is someone who is either really tired or really intoxicated. And for food, fried is when you cook something in oil. Flaky is someone that can't commit to things and is a little forgetful. They actually flake out of their responsibilities, just like flakes fall off of this flaky pastry. And finally, the word nutty. A person is nutty if they are silly or ridiculous. And food is nutty if it's filled with nuts.
Eggplant, eggplant, eggplant.
Well, we had a lot of fun today learning about adjectives. Tried two wonderful eggplant dishes, super different from each other, impossible to compare. In Spanish, when you can't compare two things, you say no hay color. In English, you would say it's like comparing apples and oranges. And I think in Chinese, you say feng man you bu xiang xi. Anyway, thanks very much for sharing some time with us. Hopefully you were able to learn a little something about how to do a delicious fried eggplant bar food like the ones we do here in Spain. And be sure to come back and join us for more episodes at Food We Share.